So welcome back, and today we're going to talk about the euro, Bitcoin, gold, silver, and the secret information and secret intel I got from yesterday. So everything is happening thanks to the Federal Reserve. That is just the trigger for more collapse. We have been warning since March that this was what is happening now was about to happen. Now we are in September, and you should go back to the video that we made an alert about Amazon going to crash. And we are still seeing the effects of that warnings that was marked and there was clear knowledge by the insiders in the forward curves, in the future interest rates, and the path of the increasing interest rate that what happened this week was about to happen. So the fact is that Russia is proceeding with the annexation of territory through referendums between now and the next week. This week, with the call of 300k soldiers, is triggering the collapse of the euro, and that we will see that. We will discuss more information. I got intel from probably the best Bitcoin forecaster in Latin America. I was with him last night. I was in a conference and we were asking his view on Bitcoin. We will get to that. And we will see all the information. So now we have two forces and two risks: geopolitical risk and interest rate risk, creating this collapse in the euro USD, and we have been warning about that in the past. Just go and check the Amazon video alert made by the old sailor of inflation seas. That means that we already have experience in this environment, and you should be following these updates, because we have already navigated through these waters of high inflation. So if you go back to that video, you will remember that we were warning the subscribers that it was about to happen, that from March it was expecting by now huge and higher interest rates. And the interesting thing is that the euro interest rates expected for the next year by the markets, it's only 3%, while they have 45% inflation in producer prices. So it means that the central bank is denying the current situation with inflation, and they will not commit themselves to go to higher and higher levels to find inflation. So they believe they will only control inflation if they walk only 50% of the level they should go, and they are betting on that. What's that the market is saying now? If you check the information in the US market, the thing changed dramatically, because if you go back to March, the market was expecting that we will make the top around here, and now the market is claiming that the 1 month LIBOR rate will go up to 5%. This is interbanking interest rates. This means our theory that we already presented in the past, that the market is slowly showing that they were wrong, and they are moving the interest rates expectations higher and higher. What we believe is that every time inflation in the United States went above 5%, every time that happened, you needed more and more higher interest rates than 5%. So there is still not price in the market that current scenario. The pricing will continue, and the pain will also come. So let's go to the crypto analyst. This is a crypto analyst, most likely the most famous forecaster of Bitcoin in Latin America, former politician, and he was also the treasurer of the one of the most important cryptocurrencies wallets in the world. The name is Sapo Company, and the name of the analyst is Carlos Maslaton. I was yesterday with him, and he gave his forecast for the stocks, the Nasdaq, and the crypto. We were all around him because he's very interesting analyst, because he understands the movements in cycles, politics, interest rates, and the asset valuation. And he is also one of the greatest Bitcoin promoters in Argentina, and probably one of the most famous analysts warning about the future prices of Bitcoin on TV and much more. So we asked him about Bitcoin, and we tried to corner his view, and he has been super bullish, but in his counting of the Bitcoin, I have already subscribed, he was warning that he's an Elliott wave analyst. That's a technique for counting waves in the market, that he was expecting the possibility of a final wave going down to maybe 16 or 17k. That was the level that he was believing as main scenario. So it was very interesting to find that the perma-bullish and famous forecaster for multiple countries was allowing himself to give a bearish scenario for Bitcoin. But there are lots of waves and assets ending the 5 wave of the final moments, and then the market will start doing something completely different between 1 week and 2 weeks, 1 week or 2 weeks. That's the time window he gave us. This is very interesting because lots of assets, indexes, and prices are giving that we are in the 5 wave, which is the ending of a cycle. So we may get trash now very fast, and then we get something more stable, and we will see if we start a new bearish wave or we start recovering. He believes that we may finally recovering after final destruction that is ahead. But that's a theory. If we hold here, we could go the way back to 24, and that's it. That's all the information I received from him yesterday, because I was at the private conferences. So I knew this man in the top of the Nasdaq exchange when he advised and where they were participating in the sale of Patagon Corporation, in the top of the market, in the top of the Nasdaq in 1999. So they clearly made it in March of 2000. So they sold the IT company at the top, and then he went to the Bitcoin business. He's a very interesting analyst, and he's also a potential presidential candidate for next year. I keep contact with him from time to time, and I wanted to present this information because it's very interesting that a perma-bullish Bitcoin forecaster is allowing himself to believe that we could see Bitcoin for 14 or 16 in the short term as a very possible scenario. So we have signals that Bitcoin could go lower, and all the information means that Ether went down 20% since the merge. And what is fascinating for me as Argentinian is that Americans still can get negative yields in the loan rates. I'm checking this website from Wells Fargo, and they can get 5% when inflation is above that. Personal loan rates. In Europe, it's a similar level for the good credit history levels. So one of the best strategy for managing inflation environments is to take care of these low interest rates and find a yield above these levels. So a 5% interest rate seems quite low for the environment here if you believe that inflation will be much higher. especially for the prices of food and energy. Now everything is crashing, so maybe if you can fix an interest rate this low, I'm sorry, it was a very successful strategy in Argentina. Sorry. One of the other asset prices was Stellar. Stellar was giving higher and higher signals. Stellar XLM. I know when it's in Thai prices, sorry. XLM is a currency, cryptocurrency that start finding and going higher all the week, not going lower and going higher, denying going lower. So really captured my attention. This cryptocurrency, you go all the way up, it was giving a signal and denying all the crash we have been seeing. Stellar is very interesting because it was very bullish in the middle of the chaos. So this cryptocurrency captured my attention. I will be following it from now. I will zoom out now. I will show you. Maybe if you have some knowledge about these cryptocurrencies, forming a very stable pattern that it will go up, and you see this very bullish weekly candle, which looks like a free wave candle, and the pattern looks starting to look bullish in the middle of a very negative sentiment environment. So Stellar, if you know why it's going up, this cryptocurrency, it's a currency that should be studied if it continues to push higher about this level, which is around this here I'm marking here. And the case for the prices like gold and silver, I was following on my very old support levels here, and we are seeing the price of gold now. And I knew these are very old drawings, very old levels I mark, and I knew that if we were passing this area here, we were going to see a crash. So now gold is in a very delicate situation, maybe very close. The target for me was this level here, 1640 and 1600. That was the top. We continue to go down. The banks are watching for this area. The banks, like some banks, are watching this area here, this level around 1534, like the ultimate target. I don't believe we could go that low. First, we should test the one of my countings was around 16 or 1620. That was the big support there, and I expect a bounce here, a recovery here, and maybe we could go lower. If you are lost in this crazy environment, it's better to hone to physical silver and buy silver all the way between 17 and 19 and way there. If you want to get out of the matrix, you should do that. You should wait here, this area, in physical silver, and wait for the best and wait for the worst. You want to wait because silver is showing strength in the middle of the crash, but it has been pushing lower and lower, but fighting every single time. So there was a rumor of the borrow rates, and you see here the action of silver fighting all the chaos and going down. So it's signaling that the support is quite close to what we are seeing here. So most likely the end of the suffering for silver will be around 18, and there will be a heavy battle around this level. So if you are not in the market going out, in and out like I used to do that. It's okay to buy these extremely low prices, knowing that the extreme risk for silver is that we go all the way back to 16, and then we go back faster. We can discount this possible scenario here, and we enter here. This scenario should be on the radar, but it's the most bearish scenario of all. So the most likely scenario with the coming forward curves and the massive escape of the euro system is that we go all the way back to 80, but I am here in an area between 16 and 18 of physical accumulation. That's a personal commitment from now, because I was bearish in 21, I was bearish in 28. If you remember my oldest videos, I was giving around this level on February, when the middle of the silver short quits, a live concert warning people not to buy silver. If you remember one of my famous updates, I was giving here an update on 28. I was giving an alert in March of this year not to buy silver again here, the famous silver alert. And now with all this destruction in prices of silver, I believe between 16 and 80 is physical area for me. That's an idea. I could be wrong, but I believe this is an area with very upside potential compared to the structure of the old charts of, let me go to higher levels. You will see that only if you go here, you are in an interesting area of support. Very important area that lasted for years. So could it go all the way back? I don't believe so, because you have this massive volume here, and the weakness in the waterfall of silver is warning that there will be heavy resistance around these levels. Heavy resistance. With inflation, it's a matter that should be analyzed if it will be controlled with a 5% in case of geopolitical risk. So silver and gold should be pricing some of the geopolitical risks, sensing the money printing forward. So silver has like a potential hedge against geopolitical risk, and that's why I believe shouldn't go. I've been since I started this channel, I've been talking down silver last year, this year, and now for me the wave count is complete. Maybe we'll have 2 more weeks like the famous guru I mentioned in the beginning of this update, maybe 2 or 3 weeks of damage, maybe more, but this definitely is an area of silver physical accumulation in my opinion. Also no advice, just that from the charts, I believe this area is very important. From the euro, you see that they are not ready to fight inflation faster enough, because you can take money for 3% or lower in the euro system, and that will be punished. And you also have a potential invasion, a complete mobilization of the Russian army coming in a few weeks. So there is panic. This is type of candle in the euro dollar is the candle of a panic in the system, and everybody is evacuating the euro system now. With this type of crash, it's not very ordinary, it's very extraordinary, and we are seeing a collapse. So if you remember Martin Armstrong, the famous economist, gave a warning weeks ago that euro bonds were not accepted in New York, maybe a few months ago, and now all comes together because they are escaping from the euro risk. And we are not pricing also the potential for black swans events in the financial system due to the exposure of derivatives and the higher risk that we are seeing now in all the systems and all the things going on right now. We could have black swan events in the euro system not being priced. So let's see what's going on. This is a large update. Thank you very much.